Hello and welcome back. In the previous video I introduced Project Seacamel's key features from the outside. In this video we're going through the interior plans. Welcome aboard! If you're new to the channel, I recommend to take a look at the previous video first, link is up there. You get a better understanding of the stage of the project and overall principles of it. It's all about designing and building this 15-meter sailboat called Seacamel. And be sure to press the subscribe button to get notified of the new videos. It's easy and free way to support this project. And thanks in advance for everyone who watches these videos, of course. If boating and sailing is close to your heart, check out the Patreon page as well. A link is down there description. That way you can support producing these videos with just a few coins. All the revenue at this stage are going for improving their quality. And I should mention, here in Finland, it's not legal to get or ask donations as individual, so all the support you may want to give me must come through Patreon or selling stuff like that. Without any further delay, let's get started. As I mentioned in the previous video, one of the key features when designing Seacamel was the good visibility. By no means I did want a steep ladder down, small windows or portholes, and gloomy atmosphere. Instead, the saloon should be spacious, bright, with good visibility outside. You're in the boat to see the world anyway. But let's jump to the model. As we enter inside from the cockpit, the first noticeable feature is the proper waterproof doors. These are similar to Garcia exploration boats. The doors should be, of course, watertight, but also properly heat insulated. It can be cold up here and the places I would like to visit with this boat. And I want the doors to be actual door, not some loose boards. Further down, there's just a couple of steps, no more. The goal is to make this passage feel natural and not really a major descent down below. An overview of the saloon tells a lot. There's a seating area, kitchen, toilet, and storage facilities all over. And if you start from the companionway door, right on the passageway here is a reasonable sized free space. It's not too big, but in a way that you wouldn't immediately feel cramped when going inside. And if there are more people on the boat, this is the area where you are most likely to move at the same time. From inside to outside, and from the galley to the saloon and the toilet and so on. Right next to the door on the left, there's a wet locker where you can hand follow the gear, leave your shoes or other stuff. And next there's a spacious and functional toilet and shower area. And on the other side, on the starboard, there's access to the back cabin with a few steps. We'll go back there in a few moments. And in the middle of the space is the mast that divides the space into the galley and the living area. The galley kitchen is I-shaped and designed so that you can lean on either side when the boat is heeled. There are countertops on both sides, and I have a temptation to make the refrigerator similar that the ingenious lifting tabletop on Mads is doing in the Sail Life channel, but I have to wait for a few weeks to see if it actually works. In the galley there's just like the normal stuff. There's the stove here and some countertop there and storage there and things like that. We'll go through the equipment someday. But on the saloon side, the saloon seat is long enough to sleep in, and the central table that should be adjustable and versatile, and there's a table for workstation by the front windows as well. This may include internal navigation point, although it may not be needed if the equipment on the steering position outside is enough. As you can see from this model, there's really nothing special in the saloon. Actually, the only different feature, for my opinion, is to place the head, the toilet, so centrally. And there's only one of them in the boat. And I believe this has some reason in cultural differences as well. Here in the Nordic countries, it's unusual to have toilet space with the bedrooms as ensuite. Instead, toilets are usually in central location, and there may be only one of them even in a larger apartment. And in the boat, space is valuable feature, so it's natural that the space is not wasted. So in my opinion, 2 toilets is waste of space in a mini apartment, which boat very much is. And in addition, the location of the toilet in the middle is less disturbing at night than if it were located next to the cabin, for example. For a smooth everyday life, the shower is separated in the own space and is reasonably sized for comfortable use. The sole of the saloon is generally in one level, from the door to the head and to the galley, and when standing the eye level is on the window level, so the view is always good. On the seating area, the sole, which is the floor in boat language, has been raised enough so that when sitting on the settee area, the normal sized dude, in other words me, can see outside. Okay, let's continue further forward. Through the galley is the passageway to the front of the boat, and after a few steps down you're at the lowest level of the boat. The raised deck section allows full standing height here as well. The main cabin of the boat is located under the saloon seating, low as possible and as center as possible. The absence of head and shower down here gives plenty of storage space in the cabin. The goal here is to make the cabin as spacious and as comfortable as possible. Otherwise there's nothing really special about it. Of course the island beds are not available for this solution, which is the deal breaker for me. On the other side, the galley kind of formed this narrow space, and I located a seabird there. By the way, this is one feature that I got some comments earlier, so I will probably modify the galley in the way that the seabird is actually located on the other end of the galley. In this way, the distance from the cockpit to the berth is as short as possible, and together with the rear cabin, they will form a nice combination for longer passages. And if we continue forward, in the bow there's a fairly large front cabin. And in this model there's a steel berth placed there, but it may be that the boat will eventually become a workshop, music studio or other general purpose space. It would be nice to equip the boat with a drum kit, for example. In any case, the use of the front berth during the passages is quite impossible, but we will certainly return to this page later. And if you have any good examples or ideas of using this forward peak other than cabin, please let me know. But okay, let's go back to the saloon and take a look at the aft cabin. We have to remember that the boat has a much narrower hull than the modern boats in general, so the aft cabins remain reasonably small. The bed is a narrow double bed, and by taking some room from the outside, a standing height area has been gained at the front section of the cabin. I think this will be a comfortable cabin for guests, but not too comfortable to make them leave eventually. Okay, in summary, the boat has a saloon, galley, head with separate shower, main cabin, aft cabin, sea berth and common area at the bow. And that's basically it. But what else can we find inside the boat? When the saloon sole is reasonably high, it relieves a huge amount of space under it. This space therefore contains tanks, batteries, storage space, freezer, refrigerated space maybe, washing machine, other gadget can be placed here as well. And their locations have only just been sketched, but the basic principle is that the heavy stuff are placed as low as possible and all systems should be easily accessible. Going backwards, behind the saloon, under the cockpit, is a technical space copied straight from Amel boats, and it should contain all loud and smelly things. There will be electric motor in this boat, or two maybe, but considering the northern climates, there probably will be, unfortunately, also a diesel generator on this boat. And diesel in some form is needed to heat the boat during the cold months, which is from August to June in here. The technical space that way includes at least diesel tank, generator, heater, some pumps, through hulls, etc. There hasn't been much attention paid for the technical details just yet, primarily because everything is kind of developing a big leap, so what I design now can be totally obsolete in 5 years. And I'm waiting for battery technology breakthroughs as well. And continuing one step back, there's this dinghy garage mentioned earlier and some storage space on its sides, which can be accessed from the outside. I've got some comments already for the dinghy garage, and it's something that I will definitely look into more detail in the near future. Okay, let's jump from the stern to the bow, and right at the bow again there is a reasonably sized anchor locker. Although I'm still looking for a way to store the anchor chain to the middle of the boat, and I have some ideas already. It would be great for weight distribution to not to have the chain at the very bow. From the bow, the anchor locker slash sail locker, front cabin, utility space, main cabin, main saloon, galley, toilet, aft cabin, technical compartment, dinghy garage. That's all from the inside of the boat. Okay, some words about the dimensioning of things. Boat is kind of a complex problem. There is a very limited space and everything kind of affects everything. But there's a couple of things that can be seen as the starting points of dimensioning things here. The first one is the length of the beds or the berths, as in boat language. The standard length of mattresses in this part of the world is 2 meters. In addition, some space is needed for the outstretched legs and arms. Personally, I like to sleep with my legs outstretched and my hands under the pillow, so 2 meters isn't quite enough for me. So I have used 2.3 meters as a free measure for the beds, leaving enough space for both ends of the bed. Another measure to consider is the length of the dinghy. I have used now in this plan a 2.6 meter high-field ribboat, which should fit in the garage lengthwise. Alternatively, a small sailing dory or maybe a kayak or two could be fitted there. Based on these two measurements, things have pretty much found their places, and the technical compartment space is in the front of the garage, which I want to be accessed from the cockpit, and which brings the rear wall of the saloon quite forward. And on the other hand, the main cabin under the saloon places the settee area at a certain place. And all the rest kind of wrap around these. And that's about it for now. As a whole, it would seem that the moment the plan is reasonably well balanced and things are in the right places. But what do you think? Is something bothering you? Do you have some good or bad experiences of some solutions in the plan? Should some functions be completely different? Am I making a terrible mistake somewhere? Tell me in the comments. The next video, or one after that, or maybe a live, will be a QA session where I will go through the comments and suggestions that I have got so far. And many thanks for all the viewers. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to get notified of the new videos. The CNC router is coming soon. And please leave a like. Each reaction on these videos will increase the visibility of this channel and allows the project to take it forward more smoothly. And again, I want to thank all my Patreons, Paul, Yuri, Dave, Philip, and for the first time, Niklas from Sweden. Hey! Seeing you guys supporting this channel really gives me motivation and energy to carry on. So thank you so much, and we will see you hopefully soon. Bye!